Hey everyone, welcome to the Withering Effect. This is episode 42, and today's date is April 27th, 2020, and I am Duds, or Duds Versus, known to the rest of the interwebs.
And I am Jimbo. You may know me as Jimbo Slice 23. And how has your week been so far this week, Duds?
It's been kind of hectic, kind of cool. I got a lot of new gadgets off of Minecraft topic real quick. I got a Roomba, which is actually kind of cool. I got it on sale on Amazon, and it's kind of a big thing. I have a real open floor plan house. Like I said, my office doesn't have doors in it. So this little robot, I was like, man, I get so... Because I have Susie, and she sheds dog hair everywhere. And I get so tired of constantly having to sweep from her. It's like, I go to work.
Yeah, I have that problem.
I tap this robot button. It does sweeping throughout the week, so all I gotta do is do some light sweeping and mopping on the weekend. It's like, oh man, that's awesome.
Wow. It does a good job, though.
It actually does a pretty good job. And mind you, I got like the cheap base version.
Yeah.
And it does a pretty good job. Me and my roommate aren't known for walking around barefooted. Like, we're either wearing socks or slippers or sandals or something. But 2 days we've run this Roomba and we've been walking around barefoot. It's nice.
Nice. Yeah, I have a German Shepherd. I have that same problem.
Yeah.
Seems to be hair everywhere. So I'm glad you got to tell me that it works okay, because that was the whole thing.
It does.
It's a little machine. You wouldn't think it would do so well of a job, but that's pretty cool.
It takes about 2 hours to do my home, and I've got a 1-story, 3 bedrooms, and everything. Granted, we don't let it do the carpet. Like, it does rugs and everything fine, but because my dog makes everything stink so bad, I use, like, this powder on the carpet to pull the doggy smell out, and really strong vacuum suction. So, yeah, going into Minecraft topics now. So, this whole week has basically been the end for me. And I mean the dimension, not the end of Minecraft. But I went in raiding on stream, which went really well. I didn't die once, which surprises the crap out of me.
I am surprised. I didn't get to be there the whole time, but yeah. I was probably betting on you dying once.
Yeah.
But good job.
I know, right? We ended up getting like 6 cities, even though one of those cities like doesn't count because it was a single tower and like 4 shulkers in it. But every city I hit, other than that one, had a ship attached to it. So I got lucky there. I got lots of elytras. I got like 6 stacks of shulker shells. Not very good loot, really. But I don't know if that's because like really good loot for me now is different than really good loot like a week ago for me. Like, I remember the first couple weeks playing, like, diamond armor. I was playing in gold armor for, I think, the first 4 or 5 weeks. So,
kind of curious of if the loot tables are the same, because it seems like enchantings, it's been lowered. I don't know, maybe looting in the end, or maybe you just got unlucky.
Yeah, I'm chopping it up to, like, unlucky. I also started doing this thing where if any of the loot had a curse on it, whether it be vanishing or binding, I left it there. I didn't care what else was on it. I was like, I am the only person in this world. Get rid of it.
Now you can grindstone those enchantments, right?
I don't know if you can take curses off with a grindstone, though.
Yeah, I was never sure of that. Huh.
That might be something we need to test out. If you can, then my bad. But it was mainly a bunch of armor, or not armor, but iron stuff that had the curses on it. So I was just like, blah. I have enough iron if I need to create an iron tool or chest plate or something. But other than that, I built an Enderman farm. I built Nimbomb's version. And then I rebuilt Nimbomb's version. And then, I rebuilt it for the 3rd time. Cause
awesome.
It's me.
Because you love it so much. It's such a great build. Rebuild it. So the first time I built it, I watched his video and I built his original design. Well, a couple weeks later, he found improvements to the farm. And I didn't know there was another video attached to it until I was like, well, this seems a little funny. Let me pull the video back up and see what I messed up. And sure enough, I saw that he had 2 Enderman farm videos and one was an upgrade. So I was like, I should have looked at that before I built this farm. The first version worked fine, but it could do better. And then I rebuilt the second version, which worked a little bit better. And I was still like, if you look at my video that came out today or 2 days ago when you guys hear it, like the Enderman would spawn, they would all run into the chamber, I'd kill them all, and then I'd have to like wait for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes before they respawn and come at me again. And this is where rebuilding it for the third time came in. And I didn't rebuild the whole thing. So if you watch from my last clip to my like end screen where I'm just showing the farm running as the credits or something's rolling.
Yeah.
The spawning platform is 4 blocks bigger in width or length. Yeah, length. Because I built the spawning platform and the farm itself too close together. So that stupid protection radius around the player was affecting the Enderman spawning. And it's basically duds can't count.
Did Nimbom mention that in the next version?
In both versions, he mentions how far away the platform needs to be from the farm.
Yeah.
I just miscounted because it's me and I'm dumb. He built all of his out of leaves. Well, I didn't have a ton of leaves because I'm poor, but I had a ton of sand because I live next to a desert. So like half of my farm is made out of glass, and I think that's what confused me. But yeah, I ended up getting it to work. It works 100% perfectly now. The only complaint I still have is you need to have a sweeping edge sword to use the farm. And it's not a one-hit kill like the version you built last season on Ripple Effect. You kind of have to take 3 or 4 swipes at it, and it's not that big of a problem. Like I said, the farm works perfectly fine. But it's just a little bit annoying when you got so used to, I can just walk up and swipe, and then there's just like 30 levels right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not... It's really efficient with the Enderman spawns. I noticed his farm is because it's so low to the ground.
Yeah.
But because it's so low, it's a little closer to the platform, and they don't fall as far. So that's got to be the issue with them not dying right away. They're not taking that fall damage.
Oh yeah.
To give you that one hit.
For sure. I built it at Y level 1. So
yeah.
It's
he's really good at those kind of farms. Like he definitely knows what he's doing, but the drop I feel like should be a little bit further because that does get annoying.
And I felt completely stupid, so I ended up doing basically 90% of the episode on Saturday. I did my live stream. At that point, I only had about 5 minutes of the episode recorded, and then I did the live stream, and I came back and was building the farm for the second time and the third time, and then doing the storage for it, and I put an enchanting setup in it, and the entire time I'm doing the string and carpet trick above the void, because you don't want Enderman to teleport to you. And I'm like, oh yeah, I need tons of string and tons of carpet. I ended up going through tons of string. At one point, I was hunting the cats that were spawning from the Iron Golem farm because they drop string when you kill them with looting. So that's how I was getting some string while waiting for wool, because I only had 4 sheep and I didn't want to keep breeding sheep because I knew I was going to be building a wool farm soon. And then I remembered I have a spider spawner underneath my house that a couple streams ago I went, man, spider spawners are basically worthless now. And I'm over here hunting cats for string. So I was like, I can't believe I wasted 3 hours doing that. So,
yeah, I use my spider spawner for wool itself. So that's 2 birds with 1 stone you passed up.
Right. So I ended up swimming down, because I have that seawall behind my house, breaking into the seawall where there's stone, going down into the cave a little bit more, finding where that cave spider spawner was, breaking the torches, putting some temporary half slabs in the way, so these guys would just stare at me and come and attack me, and I ended up killing spiders, and I got like a stack of string or something like that.
There you go.
And I was just like, I could have been doing this the whole time.
Could have been running too.
But at that point, it was like 10 o'clock at night. And I was just like, my mind's dead. I started this episode at 8 a.m. and 10 o'clock at night, and I'm still working on it.
Once I got going on my Enderman farm, I did not stop. Like, I wanted to get it done, too. Like, I was so into it. Just, getting the storage set up, and then you need an enchanting set up there also. And just to get everything there and organized, I didn't stop either. I'd come back every now and then and, like, tweak things, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't leaving until it was done.
And see, I'm like you, and I like to make my farms look really good, right?
Mm.
This farm,
Yep,
it
dress
looks
it up.
It looks like trash. On
No,
on
it's not
top
that bad.
on top of using the woolen string trip to make sure Endermen don't spawn or teleport to me, I still made the stupid farm area itself 2.5 tall, so they still couldn't teleport in there anyways. And I'm going, why did I do that?
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't care. It was just so late in the day, and I was just like, you know what? My plan is the Guardian farm to be my main XP farm anyways when I build it. One, because it's right next to my island. And two, I need Guardian supplies, and using a looting sword there makes more sense.
Yeah. XP's good with the Guardians.
What about you? What have you done this week?
Well, I went and did a few different skins for my character.
Mm-hmm.
I have a few ideas and a few skits I want to do, so I wanted to make sure I had some different skins to correlate with what's going on. And I don't want to spoil anything, but some of them might look familiar with some videos you may see on YouTube.
Okay.
That's all the further I'm going to go with that. But you'll see that kind of early on in the season. I'm going to use that skin, so it should be a lot of fun. I'm actually working on upgrading my PC right now. I got a new motherboard. I got more and better RAM. So I'm hoping to run this RTX card a lot better, a lot smoother. I had a few issues doing the RTX Bedrock. Not too many, but a few. That could be on the game side. We know it's in beta, but I feel like I could get more out of the RTX, so I'll get some new parts. And I'm hoping to get a processor soon. I gotta say that quiet so my wife doesn't hear. Because, she doesn't want me to get it, but I'm gonna talk her into it.
Just tell her she could have your old one and bump her PC up.
That's what I said. It's not working. Does anyone else have a great excuse I'm trying to, think of something she really wants. I'm like, hey, honey, what about this? And she'd be like, yeah, but I feel bad for spending... Oh, I'll just get my processor, I guess, if you get that. That's the next plan, so stay tuned to see if I get this processor.
Yeah.
I did the numbers, and I'm gonna get way more out of the PC with the new processor. Mm-hmm. And I installed RTX Voice, which is amazing. I'm using it right now. I don't know if you guys can tell on your end, but usually we record the show using Audacity, and I have to go through and kind of reduce the noise a little bit, the background noise. And this I shouldn't have to. And I'm not going to, just to see how things sound. So let me know if you guys like it.
Basically, any background noise you guys hear this episode will be from me. I'll go ahead and say it for Jimbo now. We've been on a call for maybe an hour or so beforehand, and it is awesome. It's to the point where I want the RTX card, not for the special shaders in Bedrock I talked about last week, but for this RTX Voice because of how clean he sounds and how, effortless to install.
Oh, yeah. It was really easy to install. I was surprised. But I guess we could leave a link in the description showing a little bit more about that. But yeah, instantly you hit RTX on and bam, the noise is gone. I could have an air conditioner going on back here and you couldn't hear it. I had the kids and my wife in the room and you didn't know they were in here. So
right,
that's
I thought you were all by
a
yourself.
shocker. Yeah. Plus, with playing the game and recording, you tend to hit the keys and stuff and not realize it. You're not going to hear any of that. So it's a big plus. And the RTX 2060 right now is at $300. So it's a pretty good price.
Yeah. Like I said, I got to buy new tires for my car. So that kind of takes priority. But if I had the money, you could bet one of those would be on the way right now.
Yeah. That's the thing. I got the RTX Minecraft Bedrock. And I was kind of curious of what other features it had. And I ran into this RTX Voice. So yeah, I kind of like this better than the Minecraft Bedrock, especially as a content creator.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's about it for me this week. Back to you, Duds, in the studio.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get on to some Minecraft news, because we had what may be one of the final snapshots. Hang on. Hey!
Soze!
Right? The worst part is when you yell at her to stop making noise, and she just looks at you and keeps going. Like, I dare you to stop.
She thinks you're cheering her on. Like, okay,
right? And she sits there so quietly until the record button's on. Anyways, what may be the last snapshot of 116? I know that has Jimbo a little excited because it's closing in on May 12th.
Yeah, hashtag May 12th. It's getting closer.
June 12th. I know, we need to calculate the in-between day of May 12th and June 12th.
Yeah, we got to mark that down.
Because even if it goes after May 12th, remember, Jimbo can still win as long as it's closer to May 12th than it is June 12th.
Yeah, I'm curious if there's one day that's right between us where it could be a draw.
Well, we're going to look in Discord like a day after this comes out, and someone's going to have it down to the hour. It's like after 1 p.m. on May 21st or something like that. Jimbo loses.
Yeah, down to the minute. Yeah, we need that.
Down to the minute. Yeah. Someone get on that. What is it? Omni, you're good with math and numbers? Just call him out randomly in the stream.
Get back to us on that, Omni.
All right. Anyways, added an entity distance scale option ranging from 50% to 500%. Difficulty and game rules can now be changed from the create world screen. So we'll start with the second. Just said the difficulty and game rules. Basically, when you're starting a new world now, the game rules and difficulty sliders and stuff, they're all right there in the front. You don't have to go into the commands and do / game rule and stuff. Basically, fire tick, where I burnt down half a village in the first couple days of my new world because I forgot to turn the game rule fire tick off, it won't happen anymore. I kind of feel they put that in there, especially for me, who's too dumb to remember all of the game rules. Second, you have the entity distance scale, which basically means the range in which entities despawn from your render distance, if I'm getting that right.
Yeah,
which brings me to why is there a 500%? Because you can only do 100% or less of your render distance, right? Because once you're at a render distance, everything despawns anyways.
Yeah, or once the chunks are unloaded, you're not going to render anything in that chunk anyway, so your scale is only as big as your chunk loading.
Right.
Really.
So I don't know why they have a slider that goes way above it. That may be like already preparing for Bedrock, who load render distance way further than Java players. Maybe that's already in there for them, more so than us.
I am confused about that feature myself.
Yeah. Maybe we'll ask somebody soon.
I do know that the game rule thing on the creative world screen that you brought up, the whole new menu feature, there's so many different options you have available to customize your world with that. I've looked at it, and it's pretty cool. Not just like the difficulty, but like you said, the fire tick and just so many different things.
My only worry is that it might be too overwhelming for a new player who may not know. Granted, when you hover over it, I believe it does kind of break it down and tell you what this does, or whatever. But that's my only worry, is that a new player might be overwhelmed by that. But then again, I think they'll be more overwhelmed with the whole game rule command line thing.
That's
that
true.
way. So
yeah, I didn't really know how to do that, turn fire tick off and stuff in the first place. So yeah, that'll help me out as well.
Exactly. I can't commands, man. I just, that's a realm of Minecraft I haven't dabbled in much. I tried a little bit when I was running Comicraft, and I always had to get somebody to help me.
Yeah, that's not my forte either.
But let's get into improved changes. I started reading the changes before I said changes. I am out of it today. It was improved smithing table UI. Ruin portals now spawn less frequently. It renamed the Soulfire Torch and Soulfire Lantern to Soul Torch and Soul Lantern. Tweaked Bastion Remnant loot. Walls now create posts under more things like pressure plates and banners. The single player button will jump directly into Create a World screen if there are no worlds selected. Yeah. Or no worlds to select. I'm sorry, I said that last part wrong. But all of these things I really like. The Ruin portals was a little too aggressive, in my opinion. So now that there's less of them, I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought you meant you didn't like the fact that they made it less frequent.
No, I like having them less, and I really like the
Yeah.
cave ones. I think I said that last time. Ruined
Mm-hmm.
portals and caves is really cool.
Yeah, it feels practical for them to be in caves.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I
the
feel the same way.
renaming of the Soulfire Torch and Soulfire Lantern, that just makes sense to me.
Yeah.
The tweaked Bastion Remnant loot, I'm not sure about that one. Exuma Void does a good job explaining that in his video.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I remember to link that down in the show notes for Carl. Watch his video because, like I said, we usually stay away from explaining technical stuff because we don't want to steer you guys wrong. And he does a very good job explaining what changed and the weight of the chance of stuff spawning.
Yeah. I want to say it's lowered, but again, you might want to watch that video just to make sure.
Yeah. I know the big thing was you will no longer get netherite tools and armor there. It'll be diamond tools and armor, which I'm really upset about.
Yeah, you can still get your ancient debris or the scraps. I don't know if you'll get an ingot. Do you get an ingot?
I don't think so.
Sure.
I think
I've
they
seen an ingot.
purposely made it even rarer for netherite.
Yeah, great.
But that's kind of it for the changes. There were a lot of technical changes, and like we said earlier, we try to stay away from those because we don't want to lead you guys in a bad path and say something wrong. But all of the notes for the snapshot are be in the show notes, so go ahead and take a look at those. Also, I think Jimbo should read his Minecraft news note.
My Minecraft news note?
Because it's hilarious.
I was kind of sitting here by myself doing my note, writing my note down, and I noticed Duds didn't have his notes down, so I was trying to get the snapshot down, and boom, his appeared after halfway getting done with my version of the snapshot. So I wrote here, I was just typing the snapshot, and Duds responded with the taco, just to let me know everything is fine. And Carl showed up. I said, hey, Carl, and he responded, but did not join us tonight. So that's it. Those are my show notes, my news.
Yeah, I'm going to rip Carl because I really wanted Carl to join us on this episode. I think he would have liked it. But in his defense, he said he was tired, and I understand that doing a show tired is not good.
Yeah, you got to build yourself up to it.
Yeah, it is like 1 a.m. for him.
That's true.
All right, but we have some fun topics ahead, so let's go ahead and get into the Discord ad. This week's ad is from Cass, who you remember has a crazy item sorting machine, which is actually featured by Impulse SV in his Hermitcraft season. And he was on the show, was it 4 episodes ago? I'm not sure.
I think it was a little longer than that. This is Mizuma Gaming.
This is Mizuma Gaming. But yeah, let's hear it from Cass.
Is this thing on? I'm Cass, and I'm here to figure out why you have yet to join the Withering Effect Discord. It's a great place to hang out with other Minecraft enthusiasts and the creators of the show. It's also the only place you can vote for Block of the Week. The link to join the Discord is in the show notes.
Alright, thanks to King Cass. It means so much to me that you guys like doing these Discord ads for us. Because the Discord really does get busy every once in a while, and it's really nice hearing from you guys, especially when Block of the Week gets posted. Enter professional segue.
Boom.
Every week in our Discord, we ask you guys to vote for Block of the Week. This week, the blocks we asked you to discuss and choose from were the Observer, the Smoker, and the Inrod.
And the winner this week is... Observer. Congratulations, Observer. I didn't get to see the votes. Was it pretty one-sided?
I want to say it was pretty close to the very end, and Observer took off. Yeah, so It was between Observer and Inrod. The votes went Observer 13, Smoker 5, Inrod 9.
Ooh. Yeah, I thought it was pretty close between one of them. I wasn't sure. Inrod would have been tough.
Inrod would have been very tough to talk about.
Yeah. So Observer, I have a few things down. It's crafted with 6 cobblestone, 2 redstone dust, and 1 quartz flower. Is that right? Quartz flower?
Yeah.
Okay. Only mined with a pickaxe. It will break if you don't use a pickaxe. Observers.
Did not know that.
Yeah, it observes the block it is placed against. It has a 1-tick pulse in Java and 2-tick pulse on Bedrock.
Oh man, see, that's another Bedrock thing, and that would just confuse the crap out of me.
I think it was supposed to be 1-tick, but the way the game plays, I guess, it slows it down to 2-tick. So it's
I want to say I remember
2-tick.
hearing that the Observer block was Bedrock's version of Bud powering to make Redstone kind of the same, and then Java obviously adopted the Observer after a while, and it just didn't really work the same. And I guess it's kind of my job lately to figure out ways to tweak this stuff because
Oh my god.
yeah, and it's very hard to tweak the Observer except for one thing, and J-Man called it, and well, he called two things out. Change the texture of the Observer block back to that red square. I may be on the unpopular side of this, but I prefer the red square over the face. I don't like face textures in my blocks. It confuses me, and I just don't like it.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
Yeah.
How they put a face on.
This block is not a sentient being. I shouldn't feel bad for smashing it in the face with a pickaxe.
Right? You think it'd be a living robot somewhere. and
Right?
It's got its head running around with it.
Yeah.
And we're
I
using
know
its
people said it
mechanics.
kind of, because the dropper and a dispenser looked kind of like faces. Those don't ever look like faces to me, so maybe I'm just not seeing it.
Oh, at least if you point it upwards, it changes texture, or downwards. I think it does, right? The dropper. If you point it up or down, I
The
think it's
dropper
just-
turns squared for some reason
Yeah.
when you point it up, which I never understood.
Yeah, Observer doesn't though. It stays with that derpy, serious face. It's actually a serious face, not so derpy.
Yeah,
It's like
but
really trying to focus.
my other improvement is I thought, wouldn't it be cool if you could have a switch on an Observer, kind of like a repeater, where instead of it every time it gets update sitting at a 1-tick pulse, what if you could have a setting that would do every other tick would set it off? So not necessarily creating a whole new block. You could place the Observer down and it would work like normal, but it would have a switch, and if you flip the switch, instead of doing every time it gets updated sending out a 1-tick, every other time it gets updated, it would send out the 1-tick.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, what is it? Comparators have that option to where you can turn it on and off to give it a different feature. So that wouldn't be too bad.
Except it was very hard to come up with something to improve the Observer.
Yeah, improving, that'd be very difficult. Changing, we could change it many different ways, but improving, yeah, it's relatively new, so it kind of works perfect the way it is. The only thing I could see changing is the that 1-tick pulse. Maybe have the option just like a repeater to lengthen it.
Okay.
But then again, you could just hook a repeater up to it, really, if you wanted to. So
yeah, but vertically it might be nice to have the option.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was all the changes I could think.
Yeah. Jamin put down a very obvious one, and I wanted to give him credit for it. And it's placing an Observer seems opposite of other blocks. So why not have the Observer placed 180 degrees from what it is now? And I get it because when you place like a piston or a dispenser or a dropper, the what I call a function side, the part that either dispenses something or the way the piston extends, usually faces you. Whereas the Observer, you place it facing the block you want it to observe, which is very confusing sometimes.
Yep.
I understand their method and doing that because you want to place it like you're observing this, look at it now. But compared to other blocks, it is backwards.
Yeah, every time I go to put one down, I really got to think about which way it faces because of that
do the
whole
same
issue.
thing.
I'm like, now do I get behind this or do I get in front? Yeah, I understand what you mean. That's pretty good. Not a bad change.
All right. Well, if we're done with Block of the Week, do we want to get on to our topic? Because both me and you were struggling to come up with topics, and then you mentioned this topic, and I think we had a lot of fun with this topic.
Yeah, these are always a good time.
Yeah. This is our top 5 likes and top 5 dislikes from 116. And I want to go ahead and say this. I think Jimbo's going to agree with me. Coming up with this list was extremely hard because we both like 99% of everything that came out with 116. Most of our dislikes are tweaks we would rather see then you need to scrap this entire idea. Like, none of that's in the game or anything like that. And a lot of our top fives we were kind of looking at each other, be like, all right, if our top fives are a little too much the same, maybe we should change this. Or like, I would know Jimbo wanted to use this, so I would pick something else and he would do the same. So we kind of spread the love in 116.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And like some of the dislikes aren't so much dislikes for me. It's just I don't like them as much as other things.
Right.
There's not much I dislike.
But do we want to go ahead and start with one like from each of us, and then we'll do another dislike, and then we'll kind of bounce back and forth?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we'll start with number 5.
Yeah, you go with your number 5.
My number 5 like is the Piglin Bastions. Notice I spelled it wrong also. But yeah, I just like the fact that they have these new structures in the Nether besides the biomes and stuff. I've heard about the Bastions, and I was wondering what they would look like and what the idea was, and then bam, just previously they came out. They got the loot you want. They got the pig step disc. Mm-hmm. I like that. I like the pig step disc. I want one of those. You can get your netherite gear from there. Not so much tools and armor anymore, like you mentioned, but you can get the ancient debris and the scraps. Maybe the ingots. We'll see. I don't think so though. But yeah, it's just cool to see another structure in the Nether.
Yeah. My number 5 just barely swooped in at the last second. I had something else, and then I remembered this new feature that I think is being overshadowed a bit, and that's the respawn anchor. I had lodestone as my number 5, not particularly because the functionality. I just think the lodestone is my new favorite looking block. But the respawn anchor for functionality and cool sounds, it makes some really cool sounds. It needs to be number 5 because you officially now have another bed.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't want another bed and not explode?
Yeah, that is a good one. Never really thought about that when doing this.
Yeah.
But moving on.
Yep. What's your number 5 dislike?
Dislike, that's right. Is the non-tameable hoglins. I don't like the fact... I don't know if this is like an update or whatever because they just got introduced, but I would like to ride the hoglins. You know, I feel like they should have a saddle on them and they're rideable. They don't look that mean. Do they look that mean to you? I don't know. They have the white eyes, but the babies are adorable. I'd like to have one, but they're just mean. You know, they're in the Nether and they're mean, so...
that works out perfectly for one of my special mentions on dislike, is that you can't have hoglins or piglins in the overworld.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Yeah. I want to tame a hoglin. The babies are cute.
Mm-hmm. Adorable.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. That's a good number 5.
What about you?
My number 5 is the shroom light. And not so much that we're getting a light source. I've wanted a new light source for forever. And the lanterns and soulfire lanterns and all that stuff, awesome. But I didn't want another yellowish lantern. The texture with the shroom light, I actually really like. I know some people were comparing it to glowstone. I think it's a much more HD version of glowstone, which I'm really cool with. But I kind of wish it came in a different color. Maybe a purple or something like that. Not like End City purple. Not that purple color that everyone disagrees with. But like a bright, vibrant, maybe magenta or something like that. You have very vibrant colors in this new Nether. And we got an orangish yellow block for light. It just felt so plain.
Yeah, they do have like the new blue colors and the new red colors. And they give you a yellow lamp.
Yeah, I get staying away from blue to make sure it doesn't get confused with the soulfire stuff. But like a magenta would be really cool in either a warped biome or a crimson biome.
Yeah, so. Well, they both grow in the tree, so maybe one tree grows a color, the other one grows another color.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that it has to put off the colored light like the RTX stuff does. I'm not saying that at all. It can use regular Minecraft light. I would just like the shading of the block to be a different color itself.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So, what's your number 4 like?
Number 4 like is the new piglins. I really love their animations, how they interact with the hoglins. They go on these little hunting trips, and if you throw them gold, they look at it and they stare at it. Just the animations of the hoglins. They can ride the piglins, the babies, I think it is, can ride the piglins or hoglins, and the trading, the bartering with them. That's it's going to be huge for redstoners, for people who like to play with the mechanics, and should be nerfed, I believe, here soon, because people are going to take advantage of that. But I like it.
Oh, don't say that.
I could see it happening.
I know you can see it happen. I can see it happening too, but I hope it doesn't. I hope it's kind of like Iron Farms. Everyone was afraid they were going to nerf Iron Farms after 114 because they're so simple to build nowadays. But they were like, no, it's like kind of, this is a gift to you guys. Here is a simple Iron Farm.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Anyways, my number 4, Nether Gold. Finally. I think this is kind of one of the biggest asked for features for the Nether since forever. Because gold in the Nether just makes sense. That's what pigmen drop and all that stuff. It just makes sense to have Nether Gold. And Mojang said, you know what? You guys are right. Here's some Nether Gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, as simple as that. Nether Gold, cool.
They wear gold. They have gold swords. They drop gold ingots and nuggets. Yeah. It's only a matter of time, I guess. But it looks good. I like how they put the gold inside the blackstone. That gilded blackstone.
Oh yeah, that's a beautiful block.
Mm-hmm.
Of course,
really good.
Now I have to go a little off topic. Imagine how cool it would be if hoglins would drop a quartz flower every once in a while. Like, maybe the hoglin tusk is made out of quartz.
Quartz, yeah.
Yeah, but now you're getting into, like, real-life poaching stuff, and I know Mojang wants to stay away from that, so I could see where it's a good idea not to do that.
That's a good
but
point.
It's just a thought. If anyone wants a data pack that, come talk to me. Not really. I can't write you a data pack, so don't talk to me.
For me.
Your number 4 dislike.
Yeah, my dislike is the netherwood color. I feel like I'm not going to use those colors very much, to be honest.
I mean, can see that.
I was thinking while doing this, maybe it doesn't grow wood in the nether. Maybe it's a fungus block, that it's not so much the wood texture, it's a different kind of texture. Kind of like the mushroom texture of the stem.
Yeah.
But I don't like it as the wood texture. I feel like it just looks weird. But this is all subject to change. Maybe I'll fall in love with it with another block. Maybe it looks great, But as of right now, I'm not too big of a fan of the wood colors. Though it does give us more blocks. I am happy about more blocks.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you in the crimson wood. So I actually like the warped color. I don't have a lot of ideas to how to use it. I have a couple ideas of how I want to use it. So I kind of like the warped color, but I'm with you on the crimson color. It feels too pinkish purplish, so it falls in that purple color range that I don't think it's ever just going to get used unless the trees are really easy to farm, because then I would be using it like I do jungle logs and turning them into chests to make hoppers and stuff like that.
Use it for crafting, yeah.
That being said, like a jungle trapdoor is my favorite trapdoor. So
yeah,
there's some jungle I like.
Don't get confused with the wood itself. I love the fact that there's wood in the nether. I really like that. It's just the color. What about you?
I agree. The shade feels a little off, but my number 4 dislike from 116 is smithing tables. I felt that the hype for smithing tables, granted, I don't think this is Mojang's fault. I think just the hype around it from like the Reddit community or YouTube videos or somewhere felt like smithing tables were going to be bigger than they were. And now it just kind of feels like, well, you have to use that to do netherite armor and not lose your enchantments. It's kind of like, I was hoping for a little bit more features than just that. But
I guess they can always change it in the future.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, our dislikes aren't like true dislikes. They're this was our least favorite parts of 116, because I think you'll agree with me, Jimbo. 116 gets an A+ grade from me.
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite update, that's for sure. Besides the Redstone update, I like playing with Redstone, but yeah, besides that, man, this Nether update, they did give us a lot.
Yeah, and if you look at big updates that changed the state of Minecraft, I think you look at, was it 1.9, where you got Elytra and Shulker boxes.
Yeah, that was big.
that flat out changed the way the game was played.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and even 110, because rockets for elytra propulsion is what made elytra super relevant.
Yeah,
and then
that was one of those changes that people, it was so dramatic, people got mad, you know.
yeah,
This isn't the same game I played, you know, it's just evolving, and people sometimes don't like to see that kind of change.
Yeah, and then you had 113, which people would say was a huge change, but it didn't really change how you played Minecraft. It just made Minecraft prettier. But then
you got more laggy at the time.
That's true. And then you got 114, which was another, this changes the way you play the game update.
Yeah, with the villagers.
Mm-hmm. 115 really didn't change the game. It was very much a bug fix update, which I'm grateful for. I love little updates that fixes things. But 116 is definitely one of those updates that changes the game, and it will be remembered for that.
Not many dislikes. But so, we'll go to my number 3.
Yeah.
Number 3 is biomes. I like all the biomes. I think they look great. My favorite is probably the Soul Sand biome. I think I just like the feel of being in there, the looks of it. But for all the biomes, man, everything looks great. I'm pleased with what they did there. And, you know, it's got the trees, it's got the sounds, the different sounds they got for the different biomes. So awesome. Yeah, and how, you know, they're kind of dedicating certain mobs to certain biomes. I think that was really cool. And you kind of seen it coming with the Nether update, different biomes, but I'm just really happy how it ended up. It looks great.
Yeah. My number 3 bounces off your number 4, and I had Piglin bartering up one spot. And it's for one reason and one reason only. It's you don't get to choose what that Piglin trades for you. It's very much random. Now, I hate randomness in some aspects of Minecraft, but in Piglin bartering, for some reason I love the fact that it's random. And my whole goal is to build a gold farm, if those even work still in 116, put some piglins up there with it, and basically half the output is just throwing gold at these piglins to get other random items that I may want.
Yeah, you'll get a good look at the loot tables then. Kind of hard to tell what you get. When I did it, they gave you a lot for one gold ingot. You would get a good bit. So, yeah, again, Piglin bartering is one of the big things for me also.
What was your number 3 dislike?
Dislike number 3, the Strider. I know it's a nether boat, pretty much. You kind of seen it coming with the nether boat. You didn't know it was going to be a Strider. You didn't know it was going to be a mob. That's one thing I like about it. And again, the dislikes aren't so much dislikes. It's just I like things more than others. And with the Strider, I don't know if I'm ever going to use it. And saying this now, it might be a little early. I might come to like the Strider. It might be very useful. But once you have an elytra, I'm not going to ride a Strider.
Till you fall in lava and you need to go get your netherite armor.
Yeah, that could be a good vehicle to pick up your netherite materials. But
I see that. I think they're adorable. So the fact that when you take them out of lava and they start shivering and turn different colors, and by adorable I mean they're so ugly they're cute.
Yeah, adorable is a little. I don't know. I wouldn't say adorable. I don't know. I just think they look weird. They kind of remind me of Smeagol or Golem from the Lord of the Rings. That's what they kind of look like. But just their stringy hair and stuff.
Yeah. But my number 3 is Twisting and Weeping Vines. I honestly, as much as I dislike scaffolding's better. And I will choose scaffolding over Twisting and Weeping Vines. Granted, scaffolding can't go down like Weeping Vines can. And at some point, I know I will use Weeping Vines in the Nether. But if I have a choice, scaffolding's much better than either one of these, and I would rather carry scaffolding than bone meal and these vines to get around.
Yeah, I'm with
again,
you there.
It's not that I hate this option. It's just it's one of my least favorite features being put in the game.
Yeah,
I feel like we're saying that after every dislike.
Yeah, I'm probably I'm not going to carry around twisting and weeping vines to get around myself. I definitely understand that. Again, like I said before, once you get that elytra, that stuff kind of goes out the window anyway.
Yeah, that too.
Mm-hmm.
Or
And
even ender pearls. I use ender pearls as another all the time.
Yeah. And if you're building something, it would just be a pain to just put down a twisty vine and bone meal it to where you gotta go. You know, you're not going to use it for building. Yeah, that also. They do look nice.
They do look very good. The textures in this update, well done.
Mm-hmm. Goes great with the biome.
All right, Jimbo, your number 2 like.
Yes, we're at my number 2 like, and you might be a little surprised, but it is netherite. Netherite is coming in at number 2. And it's the new diamonds. It's the block you want, or the item you want, or the ore you want, however you want to put it. It's very rare, and I like that about it. I like that it's hard to get. Like I said, you can find it in the bastions occasionally. You might not, but it's definitely not going to be easy to get all your diamond armor upgraded quickly to this netherite. So I like the netherite block, though I'm probably not going to be able to use it because it's so rare. But
especially on a server.
Oh yeah, especially when everyone else, 30 other people want it. But
yep.
Yeah, I really like the fact that they upgrade the armor a little bit with the netherite.
My number 2 is your number 3, and that's every new biome. And it's basically because the nether to me was a pointless biome. It was just to travel back and forth, and it's so pointless to me. Other than to get golden quartz, I literally in my single player world built a transportation hub so I didn't have to bother going into the nether unless I had to. Like, that's how much I despise the nether. Not so much that being in the nether scared me and I thought I was going to die, but it just felt like a very boring biome, and it was easy to get lost in. I know that was one of the reasons it was originally designed the way it was. But once you figure out how to navigate the nether and stuff, it's just like you get so tired of staring at netherrack and lava. So the fact that there's new biomes, that there's stuff living in this biomes, that the world feels alive. I cannot wait to explore it. The sounds are amazing. Pig step being in the bastions. Everything about the upgrade to these biomes, I love.
Yeah, and then the original Nether never really surprised you with like the generations. Right. Everything was pretty much the same. You've seen it all before. And the new feel of the biomes is pretty awesome. So we'll go to my number 2 dislike, which is
also my number 2 dislike.
Yes, we might as well say it together. The soul speed.
Soul speed.
Yes. I just don't think the pros outweigh the cons here. I don't feel like you need it. From what the playing I didn't really need it. It'd probably be really cool for transportation.
Yeah, to me it's another enchantment. For boots already carry a lot of enchantments on them.
That too.
So these sets of boots are kind of like Ice Walker or Frost Walker to me. It's a boot you would switch out for when you need it. And I don't like carrying scrap armor with me. I say scrap armor. Secondary armor. But then again, I'm already going to have to do that when I put gold armor on to visit piglins and stuff. So
yeah,
soul speed isn't a bad enchantment. Like, the thought process is good. If you're stuck in a soul sand valley, I'm sure it's extremely useful. But once you have an elytra, you're just going to fly through that valley.
Yep. Like I said,
elytra kind of breaks everything.
Yeah, everything's pretty much non-existent. But like I said, I mean, if you like transportation in the nether, if you want to go really fast, or I know they nerfed that a little bit, but you can get places a lot quicker with the soul speed. But
yeah,
I think this all started with the whole pickaxe with the silk touch and the fortune, how you needed one of each. And now it seems like they just keep giving these scenarios to where you need 2 things instead of 1 now. It's crazy, but...
Which, honestly, I would be perfectly fine with if inventory management was better.
Yeah.
I feel the amount of slots we have is too small. Give us access. I know the shulker box was supposed to be a backpack, but the fact that I have to place it down kind of defeats the purpose. Allow me to carry it, and I don't know, maybe make it where you can't wear an elytra and a backpack. That would be very sucky, but it would be an even offset in my mind.
Yeah, and the fact that you have to beat the game to get one of those backpacks, that makes your inventory pretty bad till then, pretty messy.
But anyways, Netherite was not your number one. It was your number two. So what is your number one like from 116?
Number one was easy, Blackstone. I love the look of the Blackstone. Even though it's just regular cobblestone can go a long way. And same with that, the Blackstone has different variations and stairs and slabs with those variations. It's just so much more to build with and different blocks, and I'm pretty excited about it. And as of right now, I don't really have a build in mind, but I want to build with it. So I'm going to try to find a way to use it.
I left Blackstone off my list for two reasons. One, I saw early on you were putting Blackstone as number one.
I beat you to it.
So you beat me to it. I was like, you know what? Jimbo's going to talk about Blackstone. That means I can talk about Blackstone, so I won't put it on the list. But number two, I didn't put it on the list just out of spite. So
I like it.
When we were playing on the last season of Comic Craft, I built the perfect base for the aquatic update. Well, the aquatic update came after we moved to Ripple Effect. So my perfect aquatic base didn't get the aquatic update. Disappointed. Then I build a great castle base, which I wanted to be called the Black Castle, and build with more of that stuff, but there wasn't enough variation with blocks. I really wanted black concrete stairs and slabs to work with. Didn't have it, so I built it out of stone. Now they come out with black stone after I'm done with that base also. It just feels like I get the I'm one step ahead, two steps back thing. But I love Blackstone. I think all the variations are great, especially the gilded version.
Oh, yeah.
So you putting it number one over Netherite, I'm okay with.
Cool. What about you?
My number one is your number two, and it's the obvious pick for me, Netherite. Just because me and Bank did an entire episode on wanting new armor and tools for the game, and now we have new armor and tools, so I feel like that had to be number one. Plus, for a while, the Netherite block was the most beautiful block in the game, until the Lodestone.
Ooh, you like that better?
I like the Lodestone better. Matter of fact, I have a special mentions. These are things that were on the top 5 that kind of got moved out. And Lodestone's on there. Pig Step. I think Pig Step is so cool. And basically all the Soulfire light sources. My only complaint with those is that they're not quite as bright as I would like. But I understand it, so I'm not going to argue it.
Yeah, my number 5 was between Soulfire and the Bastions. But I went with the Bastions, but I agree with all those mentions. The Lodestone is a awesome block. It's great use. It's going to have so many uses. And the Soulfire,
especially for map makers.
Yes. We're down to my number 1 dislike, right?
Yep.
The fact that I have to wear gold. I don't like that fact. In order for me to go into the Nether, which just gave me Netherite, the best armor I could get, now I got to wear gold. I don't like that.
I can see that.
You know, again, it's the same thing with I need inventory space to hold gold boots on me or gold whatever on me to get into a chest or just to get around these guys. I think if you get into a chest while you're wearing gold, they still don't like that. You still get attacked.
They still don't like that.
Or mine gold. If you have gold,
they don't like that.
And you still got to wear it, even though they'll still backfire on you. But yeah, I just don't like the fact that I gotta wear gold. It kind of makes sense. I like it just because it's different. You know, there's not any other mob that does that. And like I said, just because it's my number 1 dislike doesn't mean I hate it. So yeah, that's it for my number 1.
When I saw your number 1, I thought of something I've wanted for a long time. So on my desk, I have a mini Darth Vader figure. And when I first saw the Netherite armor, I couldn't help but thinking of Darth Vader. So I always thought, instead of having to wear gold to be friendly with the piglins, I think if you're wearing all Netherite armor, they should be scared of you. So that's the only way to go through the chest without them getting mad, because they're scared to death of you because you're wearing Netherite armor, which is so rare in the game. It's hard to get a full set of armor, right?
That's it. That's good. Or maybe fully armored in gold. maybe something, I mean,
well, I mean, you have to make netherite with gold, right?
Yeah.
So to me, it's just
I keep forgetting
it makes
about
sense.
that. I keep forgetting it's made with gold, but yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
But my number one like was netherite, but my also number one dislike is netherite, or the rarity of netherite. I think it's going to be so rare on a server to get full netherite gear. It's just not going to happen unless somebody grinds for it and builds a shop for you to trade for it and stuff like that.
It goes and gets it for you.
Right. And I just don't see it being a very common thing on a server. So, and let's face it, it was a great looking block, the netherite block and the ancient debris, that people wanted to use it for building like good looking stuff, but that's just not going to happen in survival with how rare it is.
No. And as I watch like all the other servers do their SMPs and Let's Plays, and you could see how easy it is for them to get diamonds now. Like, there's diamond blocks everywhere, I notice. And it's not going to be the case with netherite. No. I'm not going to have blocks.
And I'm okay with netherite being rarer than diamond, but don't make it super rarer than diamond. And it may be just, it looks like that now. Because remember, we haven't really done a good playthrough with the nether update yet. So maybe this is all malarkey and this is false and we'll change our minds 2 weeks in.
I'm thinking maybe 2 weeks or a month into it, we'll change these and give you new likes and dislikes. That'd be fun.
Yeah. My special mentions for dislikes were all the gas that spawned in Soul Sand Valleys. I want to say they may have tweaked that a little bit, but early on they were rampant.
Yeah, I went in after they tweaked that, and it seemed like they didn't. So it might not be as bad, but they're still all over that sand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing was everything in the nether wants to kill you now. Like,
that was in the running for one of mine.
Yeah, pigmen were at least peaceful until you punched them. Now piglins, unless you're wearing gold, absolutely hate you. Hoglins, they don't care what you're wearing; they're gonna eat your face. So, and then I talked about this earlier, the fact that you can't have hoglins or piglins in the overworld, they turn into the zombified versions, even though they have really cool textures and stuff. You can't have that in the overworld.
Yeah, that's a big one for me. That should be on my top 5.
But the show's kind of running along. Do you want to go ahead and read us out?
Yeah. If you like the show, you can share it with all your friends and on social media. If you listen on Spotify, follow us, or if you listen on Apple Podcasts, leave us a nice review. Doing any of these helps the show reach out to more listeners. If you would like to get in contact with us, send an email to podcast@rippleeffectsmp.com, tweet us, leave a voice message, or join our Discord where you can have a chat with everyone who works on the show and fellow listeners. All the links will be in the show notes.
This show has been brought to you by Jimbo and myself, but also our digital producer, Carl. He helps make sure the show ends up where it should be and not on the top 5 dislikes list. The amazing music you hear in the intro and outro is created by the one and only Decoy, and everybody's social media info can be found down in the show notes. You guys have been awesome as always. Thank you so much for getting withered with us. You should probably go drink your milk now. Bye.
See you later.